All right, welcome back, everyone. Again, we're joined by New York State Senator Greg Ball. And this week, obviously, an important vote in New York. We talked about what the president's address was. Governor Cuomo got through a pretty comprehensive gun package. You were very vocal in your opposition. Yeah. The state Senate, Republican-controlled, they passed this by a pretty overwhelming margin. Why, in the end, did you not vote for it?
A couple things, too, just so you know. I mean, we have 30 votes on the Republican side, so it's not exactly Republican-controlled. There's coalition government, and Cuomo has a lot of
still, the total vote ended up with 40-some-odd votes.
Yeah,
I think it was close to 45.
But if we
right?
actually had control, my hope would be that the bill itself wouldn't have come to that floor. There were a lot of good things that were in the legislation that we were able to get in. Even my gun privacy legislation got in there. We had Kendra's Law to actually deal with the mental illness front, recommendation from 2 mental health professionals, and then you can actually, make sure that individual is taken care of. Mark's Law, law enforcement officers, up the penalties for killing a law enforcement officer, and increase penalties on criminal transactions with illegal firearms. There was some good stuff in there. I just do not support on the assault weapons ban. Firstly, I do not support creating a new category of criminals out of people who are currently obeying the law and believe that somehow we're magically saving lives by turning law-abiding, tax-paying people into criminals. I just can't, even if the polls are 80% against me. I have to stand firm on that. And secondly, on the magazine thing, the fact that we went from 10 to 7, and we're telling people, well, if you put 8 bullets in, we're going to find you in your own home, and then it's going to become a misdemeanor, and we're going to turn you into a criminal.
But let's be clear, even if they kept it at 10, you would have still voted against the overall bill, right?
Sure.
Okay. At the end of the day, Dean Skelos, who was before and even under this new coalition, the Republicans, he voted for it. Yep. And you mentioned the polls approaching 80% overall. Yep. Why do you think New York, which is a blue state, but still, why do you think so many Republicans and the majority of New Yorkers at the end of the day went along with it?
First, I feel that this nation is shifting. New York State is certainly at the front of that. I think that all of us want to do the right thing in the wake of the tragedies. And there has been a real shift against positions where I support the Second Amendment. You have the governor screeching at the top of his lungs that it doesn't take 10 bullets to kill a deer. There's nothing about deer hunting or deer season in the Second Amendment, but people do not have an appreciation either for the Second Amendment or the sportsman tradition that we used to.
Well, I didn't want to get, and I want to come back to your concern, but you mentioned the Second Amendment.
I'll tell you right now, I know that I'm on the wrong, when it comes to politics and playing politics with this, I know I'm on the wrong side.
I don't mind, and I like people who will take positions that even run counter if they believe in it, and I'll give you points for that. But on the Second Amendment, we'll get into the gun grab thing in a second, but of all people, if we could bring up Justice Scalia, if you have it, they made pretty clear in the most recent ruling in our conservative-controlled Supreme Court here that there can be limits to the Second Amendment.
And we have limits.
And it can be left up to the legislature, okay, to decide where those limits are. And as Scalia laid it out, it doesn't mean that there is an unchecked, and this is the exact quote, thank you guys, limitations upon the right to bear arms are permissible. What they are will depend on what the society understood was reasonable limitation. And to that end, every poll I brought out, and it's not I'm trying to cherry pick them, you've seen them, forget about 80% in New York. Nationally, people say after Newtown, there can be limits. There can be limits on the type of guns, on the amount of the ammo clips, on who's getting the guns and where they can even go.
There's going to be an all-out assault on the Second Amendment, and to further those limitations, and to focus on law-abiding citizens who are obeying the law, and in some instances turning those. You're finally quoting Ronald Reagan. God bless. You're finding Jesus. So there are going to be plenty of it. There are going to be plenty of limitations that are going to be placed. But I'm telling you, that's not going to solve a damn thing. I mean, focusing on people who are obeying the law and not the psychopaths that are committing the atrocities it may make good politics, but it's not going to save
We can agree to disagree on this, but
and I didn't get my black eye from this show.
By the way, this did not come before. But here is,
where is it? Here.
You and I agree on one thing, and not the whole thing, but on part of it. When I saw the Journal News cover story about the, in effect, database where they gave out not only the gun owners, legal gun owners, home addresses, etc., it didn't feel right to me. I know it was legal, okay, but it didn't feel right to me. But you took that and you doubled and tripled and quadrupled down on the thing. And to that end, you said you know what? The editors and everybody else deserves not only the same treatment, but you said they cry uncle and they should get, quote, a taste of their own medicine. I've talked to folks
that's not a
you
direct
said
quote.
a taste of their own medicine.
It was poisonous cake or something.
Poisonous
like that.
cake.
Yeah.
Well, my point is, listen, you would be the first guy in front of a camera if, God forbid, somebody through that database got shot and killed in their home, okay? What would you feel? Honestly, what would you feel, God forbid, and they've gotten death threats at the place, they got white powder sent there, if some secretary walking in that had nothing to do with the editorial decision was targeted, and people say, Greg, you amped up these folks here to say, go take it to the paper.
Look, I mean, in any way, if there was ever any violence either against those who are on the virtual map or those at the Journal News editorial board, of course, that's disgusting and common sense. And to suggest that I would incite or support violence in any way is a load of crap.
Well, they clearly feel that way.
Well, you know what? The Journal News is full of a bunch of elitist eggheads.
But what does that mean?
Literally.
You and I went to college. Does that make us eggheads? What does an egghead mean?
They sit in an ivory tower.
Have you seen their building? It ain't exactly a palatial place. My point is, we disagree. We both disagree. They made the right choice.
Let me finish my
Didn't you double
point.
down on this thing?
Now, you know what? I'm standing up for over for tens of thousands of people, including victims of domestic violence, former law enforcement officers. This is no joke. We're talking about former New York City cops that put terrorists and gangbangers in jail, and now the idiots of the Journal News go out and put their face out there. And what I said is that, and all we asked them to do, Richard, is take the damn map down. Take it down. Victims of domestic violence, their stalkers are back, their abusers are back. I'm not making this stuff up. This is true.
Okay.
And we said, take the map down. Then, as soon as their names were put out there, and it wasn't me that put it out there, they went out and hired armed guards. Why? Because they're bullies and they're cowards.
Armed guards. Make it sound like wait a second. Armed guards. They got threats.
I get threats every single day at times. You know, when we were doing the hearings.
Are you proud of the fact that they have to get armed security?
Not at all. But what I'm telling you is, it's amazing that they put tens of thousands of people's lives at risk. They didn't have the. No, you're going to let me finish for a second. They didn't have the compassion to actually take that map down. And the very second that in any way that their names are out there and exposed, they go out and hire armed guards.
You said put them at risk.
It shows the absolute
I got a problem, and I've been on this air saying I got a problem with it. Okay, and I disagree with people at the table who said, "Hey, listen, anybody wants to do right now, go down to the county clerk. They can find out the information."
So they don't like their names out there. Well, take down the list and the names of the tens of thousands of people.
They've been taken attacks by a lot of people in addition to you.
Who does? Absolutely. Who does?
Time out. Now you said they put tens of thousands of people at risk.
Yeah.
You even alluded that there was a robbery that took place as a direct result.
Actually, now there's a second robbery that just happened over in Rockland.
We reached out to the folks at White Plains. Okay, we reached out to the law enforcement folks to find out, was there in effect a direct correlation between a robbery and because they were
Richard,
there's just another absolutely not.
Okay, it's an ongoing investigation. So if anybody told you that, they're incorrect in doing so. And actually,
they said there's no connection, Greg.
The family actually spoke with my staff. I said from the very beginning, if a connection is made, there's just another robbery in Rockland County, and we have correction officers that are already saying that the criminals that are behind bars are saying, hey, we know where your family is. There's going to be retribution. And we have victims of domestic violence that know that their abusers and stalkers are back.
Greg,
so this map is having an impact. You may not like it, but
no, time out. It's pure speculation what you're doing.
There's no speculation.
Of course it is. Bring that quote back up, would you?
Richard,
from the White
Plains
Police Chief.
Coming out of
well, excuse me.
You are.
You want to talk about
You are. You don't like the facts.
Read
this is the point.
Do you want to read it?
The map is up there right now.
He's the police commissioner.
Hey, Richard.
Do I trust him or do I trust you?
Richard, you have to decide. Richard, go to Rockland. Go find the family that just got broken into in Rockland.
We don't count this one, right?
Absolutely count this one. Absolutely.
But you're the one who said here,
Richard, how about the victims of domestic? I said if a connection can be made. That may be an inconvenient fact for you. How about the victims of domestic? Listen to me.
Do you think it's reckless what you're doing?
Richard, how about the victim? Reckless what I'm doing. I didn't create the map. Are you having fun?
No.
You want a punching bag on this show, Richard?
Not a punching bag. I want a lawmaker who's responsible.
If you want a bobblehead, go find one.
Time out.
The Journal News is the one that created the map, not me.
No, but you're the one who's taking advantage of it. I'm looking at you saying...
taking advantage in what way?
How about a fundraising letter? Give me 30 grand here. I got to make my fundraising deadline.
To protect my people and pass the legislation?
Are you trying to make money off of this at all?
Dude, go.
Yes or no?
Are you
trying to raise any money off of this?
Of the Journal News.
Are you trying to raise money off this?
A politician trying to
on this issue,
we fundraise
claiming
all the time.
that you, in effect, are being
fundraise all the time.
What's the quote if I go there to it? The eggheads, thank you, those guys again, And in addition to my Fox News appearance, I know you've been so victimized, you've been there about a half a dozen times, and you're on another one, that you need their money. So meet our $30,000 goal, donate right now.
You know what?
You're using this to raise money, and you call it even the urinal. You're a lawmaker, is my point.
Yeah.
You're not some guy in the corner, some Yahoo. And there's a standard we should expect out of lawmakers. Republican, Democrat, Green Party, I don't care.
Richard, you know what? You're so liberal.
No, I'm not.
Yeah, you really are. You're ridiculous.
Well, if I'm so
You're
liberal,
ridiculous.
why would I have a problem with the paper?
And this is why you should throw the polling up of the media. This is why the people hate the media. You can't even get in a word edgewise. You want to have fun, have fun. I'm the only guy in the state that stood up for those people, for the tens of thousands of people. And I got my privacy restrictions in that piece
on a bill you wouldn't even vote for, by the way.
legislation that was
that
passed.
you wouldn't even vote for.
It is what it is. Next. What do you want to talk about next?
I think we pretty much covered everything on guns.
Good.
Lots of love. All right, Senator, thank you as always here. This was entertaining, at least. I appreciate it.
For somebody, I guess.
Yeah, I guess so. When we come back from the break, we're going to be talking about Jersey politics. Stay with us.